Hi there, and welcome back. In this video I want to show you a bit more of a 2D application for SketchUp. And it's a very, simple application, but it's really practical. Basically, we're going to look at furniture layout planning. This is often based on some kind of a plan. It could be a PDF, it could be an image, it could be a full 3D model, but you most probably will be more interested in just laying out furniture, placing things, creating an annotated diagram, just what I got here, and then disseminating that. So in this video, I want to show you how you can do that with SketchUp and even with the free version, and then how you can do that with LayOut, which comes with SketchUp Pro, of course. Alrighty, more on that in a minute. Don't forget to check out my book, Architectural Design with SketchUp. It covers all of these topics and makes for a great desk reference. You can find it where books are sold. There's also a link to it on my site, sketchupfordesign.com, together with lots of additional tutorials and news. Welcome back. In this first part, I want to show you how you can do this in SketchUp. And this works in SketchUp for Web or SketchUp Pro, the download, the installed version. And I'm going to show you in the web version, but the workflow is pretty similar in the desktop version as well. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to use some kind of a floor plan, and then we're going to just draw 2D elements on top of those, and then we're going to export that as we want, maybe as an image, maybe as a PDF, but in any case, just a very, very simple space planning. Typically this is not highly quality stuff where you need to do 3D modeling, very precise, but rather where you work off a 2D plan and you just want to make sure everything fits, everything works, and then disseminate that. Okay, so first thing we're going to need is a plan of the space, and this could of course be all kinds of things. This could be a PDF file, this could be an image. If it's an image, it could be exported from a PDF file, so you can go into your PDF viewer and typically export a sheet as an image and then pull this in here. So there's different ways. If it's a PDF, then SketchUp by itself doesn't pull it in, but the iPad version does, and there's a few extensions which you can only use with SketchUp Pro that are available. So one of these will work for you. I'm going to use the simple image-based process. So I got a JPEG here of a floor plan. I'm just going to pull that in right there. I'm going to get prompted to import the file as an image or a material. In this case here, I only want it as an image, of course. So I'm going to click that and let the cursor and size place the image. Okay, nothing to scale at this point. You don't even have to roughly get it right. So just place your image right in here, and then you've got your plan, and of course it's on the ground plane. Now I don't need the scale figure for this, so I'm going to delete him, and I'm actually going to switch my view into parallel projection, because this is a 2D exercise that I'm going to do. You could technically do it in 3D too if you like, but I'm going to do it in 2D, and then I'm going to do plan view, and I got myself a real nice 2D view of that plan and all the spaces. Okay, next we're going to have to scale the image, because if I look at my tape measure, I can see already that that is not even close. All right, scaling is really easy. You can use the tape measure tool for that, but you got to be a little careful with that, because it will scale everything that's in the context. So if all you have is this one object, which is now my plan here, then it'll only scale that. But if I had that scale figure in there, it would scale that too. In any case, go to the tape measure tool, pick a dimension that is known. So right now here I've got 22 feet 9 inches, and then try to hit it as close as you can. Right there. And then without doing anything else, without clicking anywhere else, you're going to type in 22 feet 9 inches, or whatever that dimension is, of course. And then once you hit enter, SketchUp will ask you whether you want to resize the model. And of course I do, because that was the whole point. And now everything is resized. So now you can, of course, go somewhere else, pick another dimension, look at it, and you should be pretty close where you're supposed to be. All right, so that's of course the technique that you can use to import and scale any image in SketchUp, and then work off that. Okay, so now the plan is good. I'm actually going to lock this plan so that I don't accidentally, draw on top of it, or basically move it or something like this, or scale it by accident. So I'm just going to right-click on this. Because I imported this image, it's an image object. It's not something that I can actually lock. So I'm going to explode this first. Right there. Now it's a rectangle with an image material pasted to it. And then I'm going to group it again, and then I'm going to right-click and lock. And now you get the different color outline. And of course, at this point, I can't mess this up. And that's my whole plan. Okay, so now we've got the groundwork done. This plan is in here. We're good with that. And now you can just draw at full scale on top of that. So let's assume I want to get a few tables on there that measure 1.5 feet by 5 feet right there. Then maybe a few chairs, 18 by 18 inches right there. And then, of course, you can make this as detailed as you want or as rough as you want. And very often, all you need is most probably some kind of a color coded plan. So then, using your standard SketchUp tools, you can, of course, now align. Oops. Align all of these. Oops, missed one. Let's get this guy over there too. Something like this. And then group any furniture groups that belong together so that you can work with them easier. And then, of course, you're going to start the real work, which is coming up with your layout, knowing that everything is now in scale and properly placed. There you go. And you're basically drawing on top of a plan, but like I said earlier, we don't need any more detail for this. Then, of course, you can go ahead and get yourself a dimension as well. Just right here, as needed. Annotate. You can put text, leader text there. All of those kind of things. So at this point, you can make this as detailed or as rough as you like. And then, of course, getting that out of SketchUp, several different ways again. One is, of course, you can take a screenshot. That's the simplest. You can download the PNG, which you can then put into any kind of document, an email or something, or however you want to do that. And of course, you can, as long as you have the non-free versions, any of the subscribed versions, you have other options to get this out. But like I said earlier, very often all you need is an image, basically. One quick word of caution. I'm going to go into 3D. I was in 3D all along, but I'm just turning this thing. A classic detail that happens whenever you draw one face on top of another face is visible right here. This is called Z-fiding. This is when you have a rectangle or any kind of shape, any face, in the same place as another one, which is this table and the plan in my case. And then, of course, you get this, which is not pretty at all. Two ways to get around this. If you are in top view right here, you don't have to worry about it. It works nicely. Otherwise, you will have to give it some space or some thickness. So if you are doing this in 2D, give it a nominal thickness, whatever, an inch, 2 inches or something. And at that point, all of these will look proper. Another option is simply highlighting those and moving them up, along the blue axis by a certain amount. It doesn't have to be much, can be an inch, fraction of an inch will be fine. But at that point, you get rid of that Z fighting. But like I said earlier, there's a good chance all you need is a 2D. All right, so this is the SketchUp version. Scaling image, drawing to scale, exporting all of that. Next, let's look at this in LayOut. Okay, so now we're in LayOut, and as you know, LayOut is a software that comes with SketchUp Pro and or desktop, however you call it, and it allows you to create 2D sheet sets of any length and any complexity you like. So again, what we're doing here is fairly simple, but using LayOut is actually a great option for this, because now you can have proper title blocks and you can actually pull these into regular sheet sets and combine them maybe with a 3D model from SketchUp. So there's all kinds of interesting stuff you can do. I'm just going to show you the basic approaches. All right, and again, we will need to work off a plan. I showed you a second ago how to work with an image file in SketchUp, and actually even when you're working with LayOut, that's almost the best way to do it, where you scale the image in SketchUp and then load the SketchUp file in here, and then if you don't want to do the space planning in SketchUp, you can do it right here. I'm going to show you a different version of this, because very often you might have a DWG file. Which is of course a CAD file that facilities managers would have access to, and so then you may have access to that. So I'll show you this here. Actually, DWG works in SketchUp Pro as well as an import file. Could have showed you that over there as well. It comes in, as line work. It's actually properly scaled line work at that point, and you can actually work off that. You can extrude from that. I might show you that in a different video, but in principle, it's a similar workflow. Anyways, I'll show you here how to work with DWGs in LayOut. Okay, I have a DWG here. I could pull it in just like that, drag and drop. Has one downside. It comes in nicely. There's that. At least mine does. Some do, some don't. There's some fine tuning that might be needed, and I'll show you in a second why. But in any case, this comes in, and I could use it as is, but I don't have control over how it comes in if I do this. So I'm just going to delete this. Oops, not that. So I'm just going to delete the imported file, and I'm going to import it using the file importer dialog. Okay, so file, insert, and now I have it right here, my DWG, and I can say open. And the benefit of doing it this way is that you get this import options dialog. Now, as you most probably know, within a DWG file, you can have model space, paper space, i.e. Paper space means you have properly assembled plans with views to the model space in that in that file, and you can pull those in. Now, I might actually just want to pull in the model itself, because I got my paper space, so to speak. I got my text block right here, so I don't want to have any other miscellaneous stuff pulled in, because I want to make it look just like my own sheet set. So model space would be what I want to use, and then you see there's a second option here, import as a SketchUp model reference. What I just did a second ago was I dragged it in, which means it comes in as the default that you have here, which is the model space gets pulled in. Now that is a good thing, and I can go to import and show you what happens there. There we go. It's good because everything comes in. I got the text actually working reasonably well. Text is a little iffy when you do this, and you can always use layouts, text tools, a little further down here, to adjust text after it comes in. So that's one thing that you can do. When you do this, however, and let me open the panel on the right that says SketchUp model, you can't go into this and turn off layers or modify things other than, you know, basically going into this imported file, which has now grouped objects and nested objects and edit those like that. So I'm actually not going to do that this time around. So I'm just going to delete it, and I'm going to re-import this. There's my DWG, open. And this time I'm going to check that I want it as a SketchUp model reference. So now when I import this, it's very similar to you placing a SketchUp file into LayOut. And you can already kind of see what's happening there on the right here as things are coming in. So now I have a viewport to that DWG. And everything's there. It's just not visible right now. But you see on the right here that under SketchUp model, I have all my options now. Now the last saved view isn't as interesting, but things like ortho view, i.e. parallel projection, and accurate scale, that's much more interesting. So now I can, you know, just simply go ahead and fix my view here a little bit. And then pull this down right there. And you see what's happening now. Now I have my view, and I can actually adjust the scale right here as needed. So that's really nice to get things scaled. You also see when I expand tags that I got all these layers. So as you most probably know, DWG files are typically very either very or not at all organized into layers like you see here. And then you can kind of hopefully see it right there. Yeah, exactly. So you can turn things on and off, which you can do after the fact. You can also adjust line weight. So if I go right here, change my line weight, I can make things much finer. Anyways, so this gives you a little bit more control over what you're pulling in. And then of course you can, you know, crop as needed. So I might just do that and do the same from this side. And I got something that I can use here. Okay, now that we have the plan all set up right here in layout and scaled and everything, I'm going to lock it as well, similar to what we've done before, so that I can't mess it up anymore. Right there. Good. So now, in order to get the furniture in here, I'm going to use another feature that Layout has, which is visible on the right here, which is called Scaled Drawing. So if you click on Scaled Drawing, you're going to be presented with an option to pick a scale. Now, of course, you want to pick the same scale as what you had there before, but then you can draw at that scale as much as you want to. Now, one quick caveat, you most probably will want to dimension objects relative to each other, so you most probably will want to draw like a furniture group or something together in this overlay so that they stay together. I'll show you in a second what impact that has on dimensioning. I'm going to go right in here and draw my tables again with a rectangle tool. 1.5 feet by 5 feet. That's my table. I'm going to add a chair right there. Right there, and just leave it with that for now. So now I'm just going to click outside of that and close my scaled drawing. Right there. Here's my drawing again. And I can, of course, now place that as one unit because it's a scaled group that we're working with here. So now within here you can annotate, leader text, all of those. You can dimension. Now dimensioning, you gotta be a little careful though, because within a scaled group, you're dimensioning the to scale dimension. You can kind of see here, if I don't click on anything right next to it, I get the paper dimension. So you have to click on objects to dimension. Same with my big floor plan, by the way. If I go ahead and dimension by clicking center points or midpoints, I get a proper dimension because that's scaled and the software knows that it is scaled. Whereas if I just click off and in space, it's paper dimension. So in any case, so just keep that in mind. But other than that, you can use layouts, annotation tools, get this all presentable, and then either export it as images, again for your emails or whatever. But you can export it as a PDF sheet set as well, and that's of course, what I did with mine. In any case, so I hope this was useful. 2 ways to do space planning fairly easily in SketchUp, one with SketchUp proper and then one with the layout software. And I hope one of these is useful for you for your next project. All right, more soon.